Well, welcome back to the channel, guys and girls. I'm going to talk about narcissism. You could be on the end of it as a female, you could be on the end of it as a male. One thing I promised myself as a young man, growing up in a broken family, I didn't want to, once I got married, I wanted that to work. But life and circumstances things prevented that from happening. Once your first family goes, you're sort of left to the mercy of the wolves after that. But narcissism was something that I learned about quickly because it's very painful when you're on the end of it. And to be honest with you, I think I have been that at different phases in my life where you've got no idea how valuable the person is that you are intimately with. So I learned at a young age, if you're intimate with someone, it matters. I broke girls' hearts at school, and I got mine heart broken at school. And you learn that there's something important going on here, and you don't want it to fail on you. But as you begin to go through life, you start to realize that there's people that just aren't going to make it. They're not going to make it. As hard as they try, as much as you want them to try, they'll all start off, we all start off, you know the story, the love bomb stage, the honeymoon stage, how that works. But as we go along, we start to realize, and I think possibly as I've gotten older, I've gotten more critical in terms of my awareness of the stages of narcissistic behavior. Now, when you talk about narcissistic behavior, people think that you're talking about someone that's yelling and abusing you and being nasty to you, and that's fruits of the behavior. They're fruits of the behavior. Like the fruit of the Holy Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So narcissism has fruits. But on the other hand, these days, narcissism gets blamed for everything. I used to talk to my previous partner about it, and we agreed, narcissism just gets blamed for everything, but it's not necessarily narcissism. It's just sin. But one of the, if you can't identify what it is, one of the things you can say about what it is it comes in hard and fast to impress, and slowly but surely it disintegrates, it degenerates the person that you're with. It degenerates them away from the relationship. Now, a lot of people hang on to the relationship as it's degenerating to try and find a way of making it work. And that's fine, that's called patience, persistence, perseverance. But when the intimate attributes of the relationship begin to suffer under the furnace of disintegrating behavior, and that can manifest in many ways. A lot of women complain that the boyfriend or the husband won't talk. He just goes silent. He's cold. He's numb. Or he has no emotional way of communicating. He's emotionally dead, and he expects me to have sex with him. I heard a lot of these complaints, and this can happen to men as well. Women, the man's unable to navigate himself properly in the relationship, and the next thing you know, the woman's starting to withdraw from the relationship. Still present. When I was a minister and helping people try and escape cults, particularly the Jehovah's Witnesses, one of the things that I learnt was people can be mentally out of the organisation. They're finished with it, they're done, they know it's a cult, they don't want anything to do with it anymore. But they still physically attend the meetings because they've got too much to lose if they leave. They're going to lose relatives, they're going to lose friends, they're going to lose their things that matter to them. Well, it's the same with narcissism when it attacks a relationship. The person gets to the point where they're physically there, but they're mentally checking out bit by bit, slowly but surely, and they may not even know themselves. Sometimes we try and develop the relationship and have abrasive moments to help it grow. And these abrasive moments could be a suggestion here or a correction there, and they could cause underlying resentments. Covert resentments are very nasty and destructive poison against a relationship. And then what happens is the person that you're with, because they may not think you're listening, or they want to justify a weakness or prove a point, and they're entitled to reach out to their friends and the flying monkeys around them. But the problem with this is, if you don't reach out to somebody that's wise and unbiased, you're going to be involved with what I call an interferer. And I also call them flying monkeys. They're flying through the relationship on vines and things, not adding anything to it. And I can say this with confidence and experience, that a lot of these friends that are envious of their friends when they're in a good, what appears to be good, healthy and strong relationship. And they'll miscounsel, they'll badly counsel the friend with advice that undermines the substructure of the relationship. And I've watched this happen in some of my relationships, and then when the relationships been expired and deleted, and I've been aware of these influences, these same friends have approached me, females have approached me, for some of what they told their friend was no good. So and I haven't accepted it, and I haven't said anything. I've had them ring me up, and this kind of thing, and it's not good. They undermine out of envy and jealousy and obviously some kind of twisted attraction behind their friend's back, to ruin the relationship that their friend's in, only to the benefit of themselves or the benefit of nobody. The advice isn't wise, and that's how flying monkeys work. They just swing from one vine to another, from one banana to another, and they slip on the banana skins and wreck everything. And there's no way you can protect yourself from that except to know your identity and be aware and discerning of what's happening around you, and just watch what unfolds. If you're building a relationship with somebody new and you're asking them, are you reculturalizing to our mix, okay? And they're agreeing with you, or they might say there's not enough sex, or there's too much sex, or you don't talk enough, or you talk too much, you don't help enough, or you could possibly help too much, make it too easy. All these things can trigger degenerative behavior in the person that you're with, and they usually won't know it's happening. It's going to be a matter of how you interpret it, navigate it, and what solutions you can bring to yourself as in a way to try and navigate it, or to the person in a way to try and navigate it to save the relationship. But if you're seeing signs, open signs of a person that's with you out of sufferance, micro-incremental sufferance, they just don't seem to be right. There's something, as far as they're there, as far as they're physically in, there's signs that they're not mentally in the relationship. And this is a really hard one, because you have the person in your presence and you're trying to be attentive and caring and loving without being smothering. On the other hand, but there seems to be this element of distance, this element of doubt, there's this coldness. You have to start reading it for what it is. It's not an illusion, it's real. And you ask that person, well, you know, is everything all right? And they'll probably agree with you, and then it's going to come down to your body language and emotional language to be able to work out what's actually going on, because a lot of people aren't going to be honest, and before you know it, everybody's shipwrecked. Sometimes you have to be honest for them and say, well, we need to do this, or we need to do that. We can do better than this, etc. But as that person is deteriorating, deleting and depleting, you got to make your mind up fast, because mental health issues will start kicking in, and stresses and torments and things. Sorry viewers, I just got interrupted. So, narcissism is degenerative. It's generative by nature from the inside, but it will co-join with flying monkeys to reinforce the things that the person's trying to justify themselves for towards the disintegration of the relationship. Because if you start going backwards in power, no, everybody's going to end up weak and disabled. So you've got to tell what's going on, try and find an answer and a resolve for it. If it's illegitimately being unresolved and it's degenerative, disintegrative, you've got to call it. You've got to say, look, it's best for you and for me and for everybody, whoever's your advisors and whatnot, for you to find serenity, peace, love, and take care and share somewhere else. And you'll probably never hear from that person again, and the best thing for you to do is go no contact, particularly if you've been clear in communication throughout the degenerative part of the journey to discard, and never go back.